Good morning, Wormians and Rivierans. This is Almonda. We are playing Riviera server, Wurm Unlimited on Steam. There's our lovely interface show up. It is winter, so the snowmen makes sense now. Snowmen were from this is real time, close to the Christmas, New Year's holiday season, so snowmen abide everywhere. We are on the Clan Hawkins deed. We are in the very southwest corner of Riviera. It was generated by a random spawn by the Clan Hawkins guy. And I joined his deed, and we are starting from a very, very base area. Hopefully this video won't get me in trouble. We'll see. We have each our own little large cart, and we're just getting the basics going. I got a wonderfully rare oven. I'm going to light it here in a second. Lots and lots of food. Let's light the oven. I've got plenty of trees. This area is abound with trees. If you're joining the series, this is a playthrough of Wurm Unlimited. Oops, just give me a second here. Find some tiny logs that are really, really low quality, and we're gonna make this oven go a little bit longer. This is a modded server. If you haven't been following, this is like the third episode in my series of Riviera. We have a lot of cool mods, one of which is the oven. Examining the oven tells me not only what the quality level is. I made this oven with a rare brick at the very end, which is what made it rare, so I'm guessing it's going to go faster or longer. I have 57 minutes and 10 seconds before the oven will fade. One thing that I was able to do is buy a mortar and pestle and a baking stone from Riviera, the main city. There is there's a lot to share. There's a lot to share. I'm gonna eat this humanoid meal. Sorry about the noises of the video. Eating noises are not my favorite to listen to either. But the more things you can stuff in a meal when you make it, the better the time affinity. There are so many things that I wish I knew about this game. I've played this for 1,500 hours almost, and I'm still missing lots and lots and lots about this game. There's certain things I play a lot, and certain things I don't play so much, so if you happen to be a worm person that has some knowledge and see something that I'm doing incorrectly in the video, please give me some tips. So, humanoid meat comes from trolls or whoops, oh, I forgot that was multiple meats. I just want one. Trolls and I think it's the goblins also give you the humanoid meat. Diced meat means I've already taken a knife to it and gotten it. I have some pre-chopped things. Mushrooms don't seem to work super well with meals. There are other things that it works well in. Stir fry, I think, is one of them. Each meal you want to make. This is going to be a little bit of tips-ish, sort of. Oh, I don't want that. Lettuce is a big vegetable. Cabbage is actually a bigger vegetable. Sometimes they don't make it into your meals. You need to have at least a couple vegetables as the game decides, and flush out your nice, wonderful meals. Herbs are good. Whoops. Did it not want to? Oh, I have the fork. I thought I grabbed the knife. You take your knife and create chopped things. So that's something, if you want to make meals, doing that right away is helpful. These planters here inside the planter rack is where you can generate more herbs and to get some of your wonderful like spices. Cumin is one. For example, you need a mortar and pestle, which is why I went and spent the energy to buy one. To get the mortar and pestle, you need to have a marble source. So I don't use the knife with that. I'm going to highlight the mortar and pestle, and we're going to make some ground cumin to go along with our meal here. I don't have as many spices. Let me leave the knife in here for a second. I went on an adventure, so I have beef and bear and canine from the wolves, and I killed some horses, and some of them would died from natural causes, but this is inside here, and some insects, and anyway, so you end up with lots and lots of meat, and the meat is fine in your raw in your food storage bin. This is the time of the year I should be building a larder. It's what you need for the finished meals to be protected, not protected, yeah, protected from decay a little bit. The one thing about Wurm, kind of built into the system by the devs, is that things will die, and I think the quality level of your meals, and sometimes the between the quality levels of your meals and the quality levels of your like food food skills, I guess. The bear meat back in here. I just killed a bear just before we started. He was hanging around yesterday, so I'm not surprised to see him. You have like grains like wheat. You have like walnuts in a big supply around here for oils. You can press, I don't have that yet done ready. You can press things into oils. You can make juices out of things. Orange juice. Orange is one of those sprouts you can generate, calculate. You can get quite easily. Anyway, to make a meal, a meat, a vegetable, flush it out as much as you can with the see, the lettuce didn't fit. As much as you can with as many herbs as you can. Herbs and spices are good. Make a second meal here because I bought a lunchbox. The lunchbox made out of lead. I actually found a lead vein in my mine that I haven't yet gotten to. If things are chopped better, it just works better. Let's put a pumpkin in this one. Each meal that you eat, see, this is becoming tutorial-ish, is a different kind of affinity. And what I found out is this modded server means that affinity for me is the same as affinity for everybody else on the server. So that's good. My canine meat started off at 8 and now it's 12 so the quality level rose when I did the chopping, so that's good. I'm not 100% certain that it's just quality level only. The vegetables you can usually farm, and we haven't been down to the farm yet. So let's do 2. You can do 2 of the same vegetable or 2 of the same, I think vegetable, 2 of the same herb, and it doesn't have a hissy fit when you put it in the frying pan. If you do 2 of the same meat, it's like, no, take away meat. I didn't put the pumpkin in there. Let's see if I can take one out and put pumpkin in. I don't tend to get pumpkin in my meals very often. Nope. Pumpkin's big, and so it takes up a lot of space. You gotta make the meal hot. I've noticed when it's hot, it tends to go better. And then the more meals you have, and the more nutrition you have, and the lore is, you right click on the lore. See, this is all tutorial. Oh, it's gotta think. So this one is digging. So the higher the amount of time you're doing, digging's one we're doing. Actually, digging's a good one. I wish I'd been paying attention to what I was writing down as I was doing it. Some people can get really into the recipes. There's a person on the server who wants to make that as a trading good, which is not a bad idea. So then because if you know what it is, its affinity, and you know what size it is, and you know how long it's going to take, nutrition. So like this one's not as well. There's another reason my nutrition actually was above 80, and it has to do with traveling to the main city Riviera and eating the 90%, 99% nutritious meal that's sitting there at Riviera. There's a lot of cool perks to this server. It's not the only server in town that does this. I guess I'm pretty mesmerized lately by all the fun, fancy mods that I haven't dealt with for a while. Grapes are picked from a grapevine in season. Right now, we're not have anything in season. We get pine soon, but I don't. I might have. I probably have a pine sprout now, but I don't have a pine tree nearby. There we go. So the lore tells you, well, items inside don't make a recipe. So now when you do lore after the meal, it doesn't actually do that. My cooking skill is not that great, so the quality, I also use not poor quality stuff, just to use it up. When I'm still new, you kind of, sometimes you cycle through things that are beyond what you need. This one's a bladesmithing one, so I have an hour on digging. The longer you eat it, the better quality you have. The more things you have in there, the better. The nutrition bar, I think it's every 10 after 50 goes up on your skill levels. Let's turn on my sleep bonus. I had a lot of sleep bonus from the day before. And let's open up my somewhere I have a lunchbox. Going to Riviera after playing for a week and a half, maybe two. I had gathered a lot of whoops, let's see, how does it go? I think it goes into the food tin. There we go. So this is supposed to keep my meals from decaying. Meals decay really quickly. Food decays really quickly. Even on your person, you can put them into food storage bins. Food you can put into the crates, and they don't rot. So I have some like red mushrooms still in here from before. I need to make myself some more crates. So, a little bit of cooking, tutorial-ish. It's basics. It's not even like the cool part about cooking. Larders need the snow to keep the items cool from decaying as rapidly. They do decay, but we're gonna have to contend with that oven making noise. So this is Clan Hawkins' deed. We're still pretty new, as you can see. I kind of cut down some trees, not the willow. The willow is very rare, and this other second willow that we left up, where it's a little rare too. I cut down some of the cedars nearby. There's a whole forest of cedars back in the direction, back behind me there, where I'm pointing, so we can get more cedar trees. This bowl should give me points. So one of the cool things about being on this modded server like this is that you get special things. So there's a cool little, I should not show this too much because we're like one day from beginning is done, and by the time I get this posted it probably will be over. But the GM Henry is very, very good about making changes and adding extra fun different things to focus on, and so they made up, or either made up or brought in, I don't care how it happened, it's still here, it's happening. It's you can so there's this little side thing where you got horses, bulls, and cows, and then they're going to be spidery, so you can kill horses, bulls, and cows. And that'll change your points. You can take things from your deed. We've got insects is beef, and horse is all the way up to the like hearts. They could use some more. Not very many. Hoofs they could use some more, but not that many. Horns they could use some more. Tails a few. Um, done on the longhorn. Done on the almost done on the bladder. I made a trip up to Riviera with my and it takes forever for where I'm at. I'm very, very far away. I got to rank 17. I got to rank 15 yesterday, and somebody beat me, which is fine. So, I can kill. I don't really want to. He's venerable and he's fat. So we're gonna. This is how you would kill a normally passive one. I know I shouldn't, but it's also a bull, and I'm less worried about. So we're gonna do a little bit of fighting and have a little bit of oops, excuse me. We've got fighting skill is now 14 on normal. He's really loud. I have hit a few times where it turns white, and if anybody happens to have, like, I'm using a short sword for the first time, not a long sword. I don't know what makes it white, and I don't know how to describe it. Thought it would show up here. It does not. On some of the combats. So I don't remember if I showed a combat on this game yet or not. But anyway, so back to the Riviera menu. My community goal. I ended up increasing my score. Actually, I was just a little bit by 1650, so I went from 17 to 16 just by killing that bull. It's venerable. He's old. I feel bad though. I don't like killing horses and bulls and cows, but I have killed 2 cows, 5 bulls, and 2 horses. Venerable horses usually, wild ones. Couple of them have died in the meantime. So I wonder if I put the lunchbox in my cart. Let's put the lunchbox in my cart, and hopefully just have a lunch ready to go for the future. I could make another one. The other day I made a spirit castle, and I had very, very low masonry, and it took me forever. It is only quality 34 because I hiked it up. It was only 16 when I finished. So, but so that's a little bit of a cool, different mod thing that the server is doing. They are going to be doing a dragon hunt today. And the dragon hunt, usually they'll have a like right click and you can go immediately like travel to the deed where they have the dragon, or to a spawn point or whatever. And I think they'll have a transport back. Anyway, I'm gonna put my butchering knife on. Butcher this poor cat, poor bull. Sorry, bull. A little bit remorseful. I got 11 beef off of him. As your skill goes up, the less of them are going to be 14, 13. More of them are going to be higher. It's a lot. He's fat though, but he's got a lot of fat. But he does have some horns. I'm not going to Riviera again. I could transport there. There is a teleport to Riviera, and then you'd have to use your karma to come back. And I actually have enough that I could do it. I just don't want to. Karma. I could go back to my town for 1,000 karma, and I actually have 6,000 karma, so I have 6 different trips back to town if I choose. I got a little bit bruised by either by the bull or by the I think I did this last time. So we're gonna drop our corpse. This seems familiar. Did he drop? I didn't drop him. Drop on the ground, and we're gonna burn him. So you get like if it was a monster, you would get yeah, I got 15 iron. So that's like a It's fun. It's actually better than a non-modded server. And then I would get 10 karma for each burn and 50 iron. So usually it's just a burn and sell for 11, so you get 49 more iron just by doing that. So my beef meat, these are our sorted bins. We talked about this last time, so I don't have to worry about the quality level of everything changing. Each quality level stays in its own lane, so I don't have to. It makes it a lot less confusing, hard to do the quality levels. Put the eyes in here. That kind of makes me a little bit sick to my stomach. Not really that sick to my stomach, but just a tiny bit squeamy. I'm a little squeamy. One other benefit of going to Riviera when you've had a little bit of money is you can get better stuff. Okay, so where did I decide to put all this stuff? There we go. So tails will be useful for something. I forget what it is. Fat is useful for farmer salves. For bruises, actually, I think is one of the things that it's good for. So garlic and fat together make a healing item. Another thing, I can't tell if you can see it from here or not. I did a lot of work. Well, let's jump out down on the not road yet. Tend to jump down here a lot for my. We're not gonna farm, but just real quickly. I have multiple times seen our wonderful starving black dragon in the vicinity-ish, not too far away from my deed. So lovely. I figured out it's a dragon roost area-ish, and so I spent time since we last did the video. I made a guard tower down here, dragon roost tower, black dragon roost tower. The dragon likes to roost just up the hill, which is where I started making the road, and then I said, no, we're not making the road right by the dragon. No, so I moved the dragon down. The decorative fountain I replaced with an ornate fountain. It's much easier. I've got my lovely horse down here in the grass, so he doesn't have to be fed all the time. Winter, you can take snow and make snowballs, collect snow. The wonderful thing about the Riviera deed is I can do this all from my cart. So I don't know if how many snowballs is a function of forestry or gardening or what, but I got 3 snowballs for making snow. I bought a new rake, which has got a 71 quality because I can't get my stuff up to 71 yet. So, benefit of having a server with multiple people is you can buy things from other people that are farther along in the game than I am. So, when I harvest with the faster rake, it's a little bit faster. Not a ton, but enough. So, do I have... No, okay. A quick pick seeds, and I'm gonna do... We're just gonna do 1 row. We'll do 1 row of farming. Harvest. I can harvest and replant. Let's do this one as harvest and replant. Okay, so I was getting 3 off of each. Of course, that one gave me 4. So maybe not. Hold on, that one. Okay, so I got 6 out of it after I harvested and replanted. So, pick seeds. Still have a pretty low farming. Anyway. Excuse me. I have lots of cotton. When you make a big epic trip, it takes from this far down south. Oh, see, it put the pile of cotton in there. I don't want the cotton in there. I'm gonna pull that out here. It decided that that's where the cotton that I harvested and replanted went. So just a second. Whenever you do harvest and replant, it gives you the pile of whatever. Get back up here. We need to. I haven't done the road yet. So let's just open up one of my sorted things here. I like talking. Sorry if you're not a talker person type of thing. I'm going to pull all of my cotton out real quickly. And I want to make sure my small cotton gets in the bunched up area. You know, I'm going to change my quality, put my quality, higher quality level cotton on the bottom here. And this is why. I'm just going to put the stuff that I have on me together. So 3 1/4, let's do 4 1/4. Let's do this to here. Oops. Well, if I can control, let's just control 4 1/4. Combine those. Wait, why do they move? Anyway. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to some cotton, I'm going to hold on to some kindling, hold on to some water, drink the water. We're all full. As I get more, it must have been one of the things I put in there, probably the pumpkin, was what went to fats higher. The more types of food you make that are more complicated, the higher those bars go. The higher the bars go, the longer it takes for these things to decay. So, again, more tutorially than I was intending. I've made my own floor loom instead of just borrowing the neighbor's floor loom for everything. We are gonna do some maybe surface mining, some digging. We are going to fix a problem I'm gonna get in trouble for. And if you put a snowball, this is how you can snuff. I mean, you can snuff the fire by snuff, right? But here, watch this. Not really that cool, but so I'm done with the fire. I don't need to listen to the fire, so let's just put snowball in the frying pan. And if I remember right, it's gonna have a hissy fit and go, you blew out the fire. We'll see. The snowball will melt. You know, if you think about it, in theory, you should be able to make water. Snow is water. If you boil snow, it would turn into dirty water. It's probably going to take to get to the glowing heat stage. There it goes. So if you watch, your snowball rapidly decays. You can put, let me put my knife back in here because that stays in here so I don't lose it. So I always have it ready. And as soon as that gets to 100%, it should turn to water and douse the fire. Let's see. I don't need it anymore. I just kind of lost a kindling by doing that, and I lost that log by doing that, but that was a low quality log compared to what I'm doing now. Making that road. I started working on the road up to Riviera. It's a bit. See, it melts and put the fire. Why did you do that? So here it melts on the rest of it. Turns off the fire and the fire sounds. Okay, so if you've noticed, it's rather a little hard to get up here, and we're right about the max in terms of slope. Let me get my shovel. I'm gonna do this for the whole video. So 2021 is about where you want to be. I decided I do not like that 20, especially when I'm like running from monsters here. So this is the thing that's gonna get me in trouble on the video because I didn't ask about this necessarily. I lowered this area here, and so I'm like, oh, I'm just going to light now. Clan Hawkins guy is not around. This is 21. So anytime I'm fleeing from a monster up this road, it's doable, but hard. And the steeper the slope, the slower it is to get help. I don't really need it as much, but I am going to lower all these oops a little bit. Right now, my logic says I can do 3 actions at once. My normal, from playing the other non-modded games, was to put it in a pile because I was tired of it going into my inventory. The default vanilla is to dig to your inventory, and there's a setting. I'm not gonna bring it up because it's gonna have a hissy fit when it doesn't work. That says you can't that you can dig to pile instead, and that's what I have as my base number. But so if I do a base dig, it's dig to pile. Instead, I'm going to be much better served by digging to regular dig instead of dig to pile. So dig to pile gives me a pile, and I put the pile in there. If I'm sitting on the cart, and this is a mod for this server, I need to do regular dig. I could do level. I haven't done regular, and that's in my shortcut is actually harder to do alt dig because I didn't think I would ever regular dig before. Whoops, wrong one. Alt dig. So I'm not gonna right click and do it, but alt G. Again, it's harder. I need to reset it. So what I'm trying to do, it tells me it's going to put the stuff into my cart. So right now one of these sorted crates has more dirt. Dirt's one that I don't really need to have sorted, so I can put... I don't really care what quality level of dirt I have, if they're just going to go back on the ground again. We have lots of dirt in reserve. I need to go around and take care of that, but I am going to lower everything down. And I think the reason this became as high as it was because of this problem we had in the middle, where it was rock. So I was digging down in this corner here to get the 3 down to match everything on the outside. So everything on the outside's all dirt. But I got to this corner here and it said it's rock. So this is a server mod again. I uncovered all the rock on all these corners, and then I was able to dig down. I didn't dig down with my... Once it's rock, so you have a whole... This is what I learned today. If you have a whole tile that's rock, and this is a nice server, you can right click and you can mine, and when you mine it lowers it down. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want this any lower right now, because right now I want it to match my outside. I'll probably do it again here. I want to get all of it down to 3 so it's all the same level, because that's where it was before. I don't want to make it worse. This one has an extra dirt that I dug down and I haven't put back on. I might have to go one more and then fill it up with dirt to put the cobblestone back on. So I don't know. I don't really want to show you all that because it's kind of a boring thing. But I wanted to do a quick little update on the video and not make it quite so long. I did an epic journey back yesterday. I did my journey in 2 different days. We'll see how this year goes in terms of videos. It will try to be once a week just for fun, but it doesn't have to be. But it's kind of neat to watch progress go. Where again, I'm hanging back on the building yet. I think there's a bigger plan that I'm not seeing. Right now my plan is to just lower everything by a couple and make it a little less hard. So one of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to do the 3. I'm going to see how it sits and see how many rocks I get. Then the challenge is, let's make this all the way level. 18 would be nice. I have the opposite, and then once I get all this dirt from this dig, I can always add it to this here. But as you can see, we're already funding big slopes here, 32, and so it's not a problem. I can just take all the dirt from the top and then splay it out bit by bit. Horses in this game can go up to like 50 slopes in this mod. Normally the horse would be glitching out by now on a vanilla server. But I can just drop these dirt to the ground. This takes time. And this part, okay, this part I don't need. Let's check my sleep bonus off because this part doesn't give me any bonus whatsoever. I'm not learning a skill by dropping dirt. Dropping dirt is not a skill. Getting dirt up from the corner is, but but this dirt actually goes pretty fast when you do it this way. But I've been trying to do this a little bit. You want some area where you can get to the main road easily without, like sometimes it's easier to move a few blocks over when you're being chased by a bear or troll. Got a couple trolls lately. The trolls are tougher. There's a crocodile I found that lives over in that region, a little ways away. Started walking around and checking my surroundings. I don't know if I'm going to live here forever. We'll see. I need to take advantage of my digging skills, though. But you get the point. Dropping dirt down here. So all the dirt from the top can go down here. We have quite a few. And then that makes this not so challenging and steep. It's kind of fun to be steep, I suppose. I don't know. I wouldn't mind having this even higher where you have access to the road. Working on it. It's a slow process if you do other things, which I do. It's fun to do lots of things in Wurm. You have a lot of focuses. Play the game however you want to. I've got this hill area that's back there that I started planting some strange sprouts for, so that's kind of fun. But this just kind of gentilizes the slopes a little bit and makes it easier to access. I think eventually we'll want to have the deed bigger, maybe. This fits the deed right now. You can make the deed bigger. I don't have control of that. I am not mayor. I am just a citizen, which might mean I need to move on. I'm not ready for that yet. I want to see how this deed goes. But yeah, getting those all to 18 would be nice, or 19. I know Drake spent a lot of time on getting that as good as he got it, but now that I know how to get the rock flat lower, we can, this was, I might have to have one little dirt on each side to get this. So I'll probably surface mine one time on each side and then add a dirt, and then it'll be 3 down. And then put a cobblestone on it, which is just the stone brick. I don't think I can stone brick from directly. Let's try. Let's see. I don't think so. It probably won't let me pave. Yeah, it won't let me pave unless I have a packed dirt. So I'm just going to have to dig this down 1. Surface mine it down 1. Which we'll do quickly here. Mine. Let's do that. Let's make sure this is working. But yeah, I wasn't really. I don't know. I don't want to undo what's been done, but we don't have the building up, so this is the best time to take care of this. Is now. So, as anything in digging, you kind of work on the corners in Wurm. Tedious, but it very precise that way. So I can be very, very meticulous. And apparently these, when you mine, go into the pile. Make sure I'm standing right in the corner. You can vote daily, and you can get rewards. I don't know if I've shown you that or not. It tells you how to do it. You right click on here, you right click on here, you go to open in browser. There are rules. There's now a border in my pocket. There is now a tutorial that opens up. I just need to drop it. I don't need to highlight it. Okay, so now I have dirt in that corner. So now it looks like dirt again. On ground. So I'm still. Oh, let's see. On ground. So now I'm back to 1 dirt on the top of that rock. On ground. So I should be able to. Anytime you drop dirt, it unpacks it. So this is now unpacked dirt. So today's going to be managing the dirt level and managing this height. I might go lower. So pack the dirt and I'll just re-brick it, and it'll be just like it was before, only 3 lower. So that's the next part of my video. It's not going to be there in the video. I'm going to go ahead and just make it the next part of my day. You don't need to see all that. That's kind of blah. Sorry if this gets a little tutorialish. It's kind of a cool game, and these are some of the basics parts about Wurm. So, and this is kind of a cool, like, this is what the server does. The previous server finally came back up, and miscommunication and stuff happened, and I don't know what fate of that server is going to be. Sad, because I like that server, but I'm finding I'm really enjoying the mods here, so I don't know. I'm not saying I for sure am gonna never go back, but I might not go back because the mods are kind of nice. It'd be nice to have our GM join us. So if the GM's watching, like, if you're watching this video, come join us here. It's not too bad. Maybe not. Maybe it's not something you want. Maybe it goes faster than you think. The skills don't seem to be as fast. Or if you're other people that I know that you play Wurm, come join us. People here love to type back and forth. I got help this morning about the digging on the. They're very helpful. Lots of helpful people, lots of times of the day. Of course, right now I'm also right about the holiday season when there's probably more people able to play more. So anyway, dig with your cart, sitting in your cart, mine from your cart, like do everything from your cart. So this becomes the ultimate horse butt game. You're sitting there watching the horses the entire game. Anyway, hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoy Wurm. It's fun. It's something about it is just pleasing to be part of Wurm. And this is someday we'll take an epic ride together. If you want to see a walking simulator, not a problem. A lot of same trees. Right now I'm heading into the forest, so that's always fun. And I'm getting there. This is all about, this is a game called We're Getting There, or Progress the Game, or a little bit at a time the game, or one more thing the game. So hope you enjoy the video, and thanks for joining. Have a great day.